Thank you. Hi guys, my name is Lars. I come from a company called coBuilder. I'm working with a digital transformation, so I hope I will reach out to all of you guys today. I work on a European level. I work with governments, I work with associations, I work with big clients, I work with big contractors and big manufacturers. As of today, it's big companies. So I'd just like to start where we are today as an industry. So the construction industry, we are far down the level of digitalization. So we are actually in the bottom. So we have to understand that where we are. And the question is, why are we down here? So why aren't we more digital? So to all the product manufacturers, to all the clients, to all the governments, people, associations, we need to be digital. That means machines that talks to machines, not people. So that means that when you export your products from Turkey to China, or from China to Turkey, or from Turkey to EU, this will be done in a different way. It's going to be done digital. So then we can look at other industries, where they are, and they're up here. So I would try to explain the middle part here, so the gap. So how can we export more products, sell more products, or how can I, as a contractor, build more, or a client organization, have knowledge of my assets? I know what I have, how much, how many, and how can I have a digital supply chain, which is fully digital? This is my talk today. So I just took up this. This is from Boston Consulting Group, and it shows where we are today as an industry, where the manufacturers sell a lot of products via merchants. So this is how the industry is today, mostly. You also, of course, within different areas, we sell direct, like steel and things like that, but a lot of products go via merchants. So as all other industries, like when you book hotels and things like that, this will change. So what Boston Consulting Group is saying is that it's going to be less via merchants and more direct sales to clients and contractors. So if you imagine that I lift up all the project which all of you guys are involved in now today, just everything you're involved today, into a database, and I ask how many windows, how much flooring, how much lighting are you going to purchase the next 18 months? And if I have that knowledge, I will change the market. And this is basically what will happen. You will have this knowledge, and it's going to be supported by platforms where manufacturers is very important. So I'm working a lot in Europe with associations. So one association is Construction Products Europe, which is an association for manufacturers. So like IMSAD, IMSAD needs to have a common way, a strategy on how to go digital. And how are you going to get to market? How? So this is important to understand. So as an industry, then we have a lot of, we kind of siloed. So we are today doing design, and we do 3D things. We do drawings, we do crash detection, we do issue handling, we do a lot of things. But we don't have an automated process from design to manufacturing. Why can't we have that? Automated. And this is, in reality, what I'm presenting, that it will allow that to happen. And there are so many different use cases. I'm not how much you're aware of the standardization work, the digital standards that now are coming out from ISO and CEN. But now, as we speak, some have come. It's called ISO 19650. There are some, let's say, high-level words to be said there, but there are standards that will affect us. Like Google Maps, they had an organization called OGC. Now we have Google Maps. And these standards, they will open up new business opportunities for the manufacturers, for the contractors, for the clients. And this is a change. So then, how good are we at change? How can we transform our industry? So what I know, because I work with a lot of very large companies, is that you guys, everyone, me included, we're not very good at change because we have a way of working. But when things go digital, it's like stopping water from you can't stop the nature. And this digital transformation is going to happen no matter what. So I will try to now explain, because I will try to explain in reality what this is all about. So today we have silo data, either in databases, or it's in PDF, or it's somewhere, but it's not communicating. So we do a project, and then we do a project, or I have a good sales channel, or I have a product library, or I have something. I'm a manufacturer, I have different systems, or I'm a contractor, and I have my ways of working. So we are detached. We don't have, let's say, we have unstructured data. So, standards. Why do we need standards? Why do we need to connect? So this was something I saw when I worked with FIEC. FIEC is an association for contractors in Europe, for the large contractors in Europe. And we try to understand how can we connect and make design to construction, to manufacturing, in one process. How can I standardize building elements to be used and reused so that I know what I built and I have the information on what I built? And how can this be done in a machine-readable way? So that was the starting point. So my company, we're leading this European standardization work, which is CEN and ISO. And then we have to understand what we're talking about. So I'm not talking about now the geometric stuff. This is sorted. This is okay. It works. Anyone wants to work in a project, they get all these geometric issues solved. Drawings, they get the buildings. That's not an issue. On the documents, that is normally project documents, or it could be attached to products. But in the middle, I'm talking about the thing in the middle, which is used to specify asset information requirements. It is a product data. It is a system. It's a wall. It is information, basically, which is in databases. So it's not geometry. It's data. So today, a lot of things we do is linked to kind of we're drawn towards, I don't know, it's like a fly out in the night when there's a light, like you're drawn towards, every time people say BIM, people think about 3D. I don't know why, but it's in reality. So stop thinking about 3D when you talk about BIM. Think about good processes. How can I sell my products better? How can I structure my information? How can we exchange information at partners? And this is important. So then 3D is a part of it. A very important part, but it's just a part of it. So working with companies like Saint-Gobain, Knauf, Kingspan, I work with a lot of actors. They have systems like SAP. Anyone heard about SAP? Very large? Yeah. So manufacturers say always yes, because that's the foundation of what they do. But the question is, when you start to structure real product data in SAP, how do you do that? So then everyone just goes about and just do something. And that is what we see with the manufacturers, and also on manufacturers have a separate need. It's, let's say, more market information, marketing information. So they develop something called product information management systems. And there's a lot of vendors, which allows you, again, to do whatever you want. So you can structure information, you can deliver, you can create websites, everything works. But it's siloed. It doesn't talk. So again, on the industry level, we cannot communicate. So how can I then create this machine-readable data that is taking the industry out of this mess? So this is just an example. It's in detail, sorry. But it's just an example on people sitting down, just naming something. And it doesn't make sense. So it's, even though it's the same thing, but in reality, if you look globally, like if you look in Hong Kong, they use British standards. If you look in Australia, they have now British standards, but they're making their own product standards for Australia. Europe have harmonized standards for products, which is used for design, to specify, to deliver, to manufacture, yeah. And this is CE marking. This is actually how we get to market. The issue with this is the construction industry, and we can still continue. We can develop another catalog or something, but it still will not make sense. So what we need to make happen is that manufacturers need to take responsibility for their own data, and they need to structure data accordingly to the hotels.com, let's say, so that any actor can lift their information to the market, and I can sell my products to market. Behind there is a lot of if and things, if, what, and how things. But what's important to understand is now there are standards coming that will advise you on how to structure data when you do a design or when you want to build manufacturers' ERP, like SAP. So again, I'm working now with SAP, IBM, a lot of very high-level actors to make, to deliver these standards, to implement these standards, and to deliver this to market. So my organization, coBuilder, I saw this 8 years ago. And I hired, now I have 110 people in Sofia, where we have read all the European standards. Now we're working on different regions. Now we work in Canada, Australia. But we develop data templates based on existing product standards, making them digital. And that is the standard where it comes up from CEN, ISO, and Building Smart. And this is the whole point. So if you give this picture to your IT people, and these are the guys. So very often what I see is that this development are very often done by BIM people, so then people misunderstand. So BIM people are doers, but strategic thinking, transformation, that belongs to the board. So when I work with a company called Wienerberger, they produce bricks. Suddenly, after, I think it took almost a year, suddenly then we were at board level. And suddenly a lot of money was released, and they scrapped their work, what they've done, and they restarted again to structure information across all countries in one way, so that they can translate and they can move their products digitally, digital products, to sell them in the market. And this standard is very important because it provides machine-readable data. And your platforms today and the construction industry as a whole do not have machine-readable data. Try to take a model and start purchasing. You will not be able to do it. So that's where we use those standards, so localized standards. So that means that if you sell in Europe, there is European standards. If you sell in India, there is Indian standards. And then you make use of those standards to describe your products and to describe the requirements in your delivery. So then the whole point is getting out of this mess where we have our data siloed and the machines cannot talk to the machines. And the whole point of it is trying to make these data templates automate things. So you can put in AI, you can put in blockchain and things like that. And this, guys, is now happening. So I went to China last week, and let's say there's a lot of things happening, and it's going to happen fast. So that's why I say it's strategic, because if you're left down the road and think, okay, my PDF files or whatever is good. It's not. So finally, we have the tool. So as of today, we don't have a tool. So when these standards arrive, so I'm a carpenter, by the way, and I have a hammer like that. It's an East Wing hammer. It's a really good hammer. I like it. It lasts for my lifetime. So we have a tool. So if we didn't have a tool, then we didn't know what to do. But now in March, so we're leading this standardization work. That's why I know. In March, these standards will arrive as ISO and CEN. It's 2 standards. One is a process standard, how to develop properties, information. And then secondly, how to create data templates for buildings, room spaces, systems like walls or products like a brick. So, what will happen now with all these actors when we get these machine-readable data? And there I say, changes. So, you will see platforms come. We don't have platforms today, but I bet everything in my life that platforms will arrive like hotels.com, just an example. They will come, and they will come 2021. So I'm working in a lot of different countries. So France, so I'm working in Europe. I'm sitting on a board, a technical board in something called DigiPlace, which is a European platform. So if Europe invests in that, it will be a 200, 300 million euros investment, I think, to build a platform. UK has put 100 million, I think, on the next year budget to build platforms so that schools, roads, anything can be interlinked. So you use the platform. If you deliver pipes, it's still a pipe, but then you can use the platform across. And then you can measure things like sustainability, which is very important, carbon footprint. It's important to have control of asset operations is important. And all of this needs all the actors to be linked together in one way and one process. So this is, I don't know if maybe some of you guys heard about digital twin. I don't know if it is or if it's not, but what I'm trying to say is that on the left-hand side, very far there or there, you see that it's either something that we're planning to build, and then we move to what we have built. Or it's what we have built and a digital representation of what we just built. And it's divided in 3. So today we do a lot of 3D like Dalux. They have a very good tool for looking at the 3D, but the information is provided by each party and it's unstructured. It's not a common format for a pump, for something. It's not common. So what I'm talking about here in the middle is the information that provides a guidance from a platform, like web platform, to guide you how to structure your data. So that will be used by each party. So today we are digital as we get to construction, I would say. But if you look at operation and maintenance, how many successful delivery of information do you have on projects you've done? Where you know that I have the right information, where I don't use a lot of people that collects information on what I have built. So these will help you tremendously, because the machines will just send the facility management and put it at in the right place in the model. Circular economy, very important. So how can you be circular if you don't have information on what you built? So then you need documents, you need information, and you need the 3D to be circular. On the environmental impact, there is a change now. It's suggested in Europe to do a change in the construction product regulation that will put the manufacturers in a difficult place, because then they will have to deliver embedded carbon as a part of the delivery. This is new. So we also need product identifiers, GS1s. Product identifiers is very important. Information without product identifiers is trash. You have to use them. All the other industry use GS1. Use GS1. So GS1 have more searches than Google. Other industries has understood. But we need to have the information around it also to make better processes. So to be able to have these things together, we have to take in GS1 into consideration when we have design processes or when we build our product catalogs or whatever. So this is the last one. So this is, I'm not saying, so this is a positive, negative slide, but it shows something. I don't believe in marketplaces like this. I believe in more like supply chains which are built together with technology. So I don't believe in an open marketplace, but there will be. Okay, so in transparency on prices and things like that will come. But in reality, what I'm talking about is what you normally will see on the left-hand side, the configurators, how you configure and how you deliver project buildings. So that was what I had to say, and thank you.